Good morning. How's it going? You have to start early when you're doing this kind of stuff. So today I'm going to cook a pork shoulder or butt, big giant slab of meat with my Traeger. So you have to start early in the morning. So I thought I'd take you along with the ride. So it all starts here. Big hunk of meat down there. First things first. Costco. Pick one of these up from Costco. Less than 30 bucks. What we do is we take it out. Why do we take it out? Because we want it to start to warm up a bit. So before we do anything in the morning, we take this out. A big giant butt just sits on the counter. Now we go to our Traeger and get things fired up. Here is my pit. I'm no pit master. I just got a small Traeger, but he gets the job done. So what we do here is open the lid. So we go right down here and we say on. It's already on. So we had the shutdown cycle. So we're gonna go on and turn it to smoke. Then we let our Traeger do its thing for a while. We're up early and we're up before most people here. That's why I got the quiet voice. And this thing runs 2 to 3 days a week, and it keeps my family fed for very cheap money and very good. And I am a self-proclaimed pitmaster of San Diego University City, California. You don't want to mess with me. I started at an early age with picnic people. If you know what picnic people is, it's a catering company. I used to cook like 30 tri-tips for big parties at the age of 15. Learned it early. Awesomeness. So right here you got my Traeger, and this thing works pretty darn hard. And behind it you got my pepper plants that you'll hear a lot about. But this is where most of my time is kept, out here by my smoker. So everyone can eat well, and my kids can grow up to be monstrous human beings, and hopefully someday be much larger than their daddy. So now you hear that the grinder stopped here. So that's your auger, that noise that's going. That auger starts, it fires up a red coil. So now that the auger, what it does is it slowly pushes the pellets. So let's come over here and look real quick. See the pellets? It's running low. Not a lot of pellets in there. That's the great. That's kind of when you need to throw some more in there. I only use Traeger pellets. That's what it says. For best results and flavor, always use genuine Traeger wood pellets. What a marketing ploy. But it's worked for me. I don't want to hurt the darn thing. It definitely does not hurt me. So in a bit we'll throw some more of those beans, the magical beans, in there, but for now we're good. So now you see how this thing's rolling some smoke. Once it's rolling smoke, you just go back down here and you fire it up to 325. And then you shut the lid. Now you chill and you wait. Let that thing heat up to about 325. Then we'll cook and clean the grate. And once we clean the grate, we'll get it ready and then we'll turn it back down. So we'll come back out here in a bit. Let's go back to our pork and see what's going on. We're back in the land of pork. I like big butts and I cannot lie. But shoulder butts? Ooh. Here we go. 14.93. Is that like when Columbus sailed the ocean blue? No, that's my poundage. Just under 15 pounds. And I'll show you the rubs that I like to use when I make a big mixture. that's it. All-American pork barrel barbecue rub. A little bit of booty rub. Salt and peps. Make sure you get all the clumps out of there. Sometimes the rubs have clumps, just because they've been sitting around and collecting moisture. So all we're doing is this. We'll probably have to have a little bit more. That's a good start. I like to mix my rubs before I get started. So there you go. You want to leave enough room around the sides and not too close to the sides. Just cook it too quick. So there's enough room. That's the hard part. Everything else is very, very easy. Back here in the studio, after getting my hands dirty, getting them washed. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my smoking background, my barbecuing background, and why I love it so much and how I got into it. So I mentioned before, as a young kid, one of my first jobs was a local catering company called Picnic People, and I joined that job with one of my good friends, and we were just thrown into the action. I was pouring beers when I was underage. I think I was like 16 or 15 or 16. I was pouring beers for people at a party. The first time I put a bunch of ice in a beer cup and filled it up and gave it to the guy. Guy looked at me like I was crazy. So like I was saying, we were kind of thrown into the fire, and pun intended, I was thrown as a grill master. So I could cook like 150 burgers. I could cook hot dogs galore. I could cook 70 pieces of chicken. And I could cook like 30 to 40 tri-tips at a time. And then it graduated a little bit. One of my dad's good friends, he would roast whole hogs, and he loved using the smoker. And I used to do some catering gigs with him, and I kind of just watched what he was doing. But when I was at college at Arizona State University, as you can tell, I am a proud Sun Devil. I worked at a couple different restaurants. One of them was called The Vine, and it was a local eatery water hole that was right on campus. They serve some of the best wings in all of the world, and I've actually kept that wing recipe right here in my pocket. But I was a lead cook there at Arizona State. It's how I made my food while I was going to school. I loved working there. I'd work day shifts, I would work opening shifts, prep shifts, and I would work the leads at the biggest rush hours during Saturday football, college football, as well as NFL football on Sundays and some of the busiest nights. So I could run a line really well, and wearing many hats was very easy. So it was something very simple for me to do, and now I've moved it into what I love, and I love to cook. My wife got me a Traeger. I think this is my 4th season on my Traeger. So before that, I had barrel smokers. I would stoke my own fire. I would do everything the old school way, which I do love and which I'd love to get back to at some point. But for now, I have a Traeger. So the Traeger's awesome. It does the job. I do a lot of tri-tips. That's probably my bread and butter. Also do pork loins, all kinds of wings, chicken. I do turkeys. I've done prime ribs, pork butts, ribs, all kinds of stuff. So that's what I got going for you. And just thought I'd give you a little bit of background, and we'll get back into the meat in a little bit. But it's just sitting on the smoker cooking, and it's early in the morning, so I thought I'd jump in the studio to get you a little bit of love. So there you have it. Seven and a half, 8 hours in. There's those bad boys. So I got my handy dandy meat thermometer right here. My digital one broke, so I'm using this right now. I'm gonna take this bad boy off now and wrap him.